course, Real Productivity, How to Build Habits That Last by Thomas Frank. I recently went through it, and one of the most important takeaways was to go at your own pace. Sustainability is paramount. Skillshare has allowed me to offer a 2-month free trial of premium membership to the first 1,000 legends who click the link in the description. So please make sure to take advantage of this opportunity and start exploring your creativity today. First, we are going to take a look at the massive minute barrier that was broken in the 70-star category. This run is truly a work of art, and the best thing about it is that for the past year, it has pretty much been a one-man show. A single speedrunner competing against himself to lower the record enough to do something that can only be done once. DWhatever became the first speedrunner to beat the 70-star category in less than 47 minutes. At the beginning of the video, I mentioned that this is arguably the best world record in the game right now. And the reason this might be the case is because of how incredibly far it is from second place. DWhatever holds the record at 46 minutes and 59 seconds. The second place record, held by Puncation, is a full 24 seconds behind. This lead is greater than any other record in the game, even the 120-star category, which is far longer. So to have such a massive lead in a relatively short speedrun is absolutely crazy. Now, it would be remiss of me not to mention another record when talking about crazy distances between first and second, and this is the 1-star record. Last year I talked about how the speedrunner Dowski destroyed both the 0-star and 1-star records in a single day. His 1-star record was especially amazing, and still to this day is 6 seconds from second place. The maths geniuses out there may be asking, but Carl, 6 seconds is less than 24 seconds, so isn't that less impressive? Well, the thing that makes it so noteworthy is that the run is only 7 minutes long, so it's incredibly difficult to gain time over your contemporaries. The only reason that I would give to suggest that it's not as ridiculous of a lead is that the competition in the 1-star category is far less active. If you look at the top 10 speedrunners, you can see that aside from the record itself, they are all years old. I certainly don't want to take that away from Dowski's achievement, which is by any metric astonishing, but without active competition, it's hard to tell how good it truly is. This applies to basically any record that exists. Back to the 70-star record, as I already said, it has basically been a one-man show. 12 months ago, the record stood at 47 minutes and 23 seconds by one of the greatest players ever, Puncation. You'll notice that this same record is still the one listed as second place. On September 10th, 2019, DWhatever broke that record with a 47:20. Given how far he eventually took the record, it's actually pretty interesting to look back at how excited he was to achieve this. Little did we know, this was just the beginning. 2 weeks later, on September 23rd, he took it down to 47:11. The very next day, he beat it again with a 47:08. At this point, it became pretty obvious that the 47-minute barrier was a target. It was honestly shocking at how quickly DWhatever managed to get this time down, as at the beginning of 2019, it seemed as though the 70-star record was already insanely good. I never would have dreamed anyone would be this close to a new milestone anytime soon. However, despite the fact that the barrier was only 8 seconds away, DWhatever took a break from the 70-star category to focus on other areas of the game. It wouldn't be until 2020 that serious attempts at the 47-minute barrier would begin again. On May 13, 2020, he would achieve 47:04. 2 weeks later, he would improve this by 2 seconds with a 47:02. By this stage, runs had to be extremely clean, and DWhatever was employing strategies that no one else even dared to use on record pace. One example was a strategy called moving reds. This is the 8 red coin star on TikTok clock. The normal strategy is to wait before entering the stage until the minute hand points at 12. This causes all of the moving parts inside of the level to freeze in place, allowing easier movement. This is what you're supposed to do to collect the 8 red coins, and is even the strategy used in top-level speedruns. But obviously, waiting until the right moment to enter the level costs precious time. In theory, if you could re-enter immediately, this would save a couple of seconds. The problem is that collecting the red coins while the platforms are moving is insanely difficult and precise, which is why no one even tries. It is possible though, and various players spend differing amounts of time practicing the strategies in hopes of one day implementing it. A few players tried when the pace is slow, trying to make up lost ground, but D-Whatever was using it every run. On one particular day during his grind, he was on the fastest run of his life. 30 minutes into the run, he was 16 seconds ahead of his record. Considering how good the record already was, that is just mind-blowing. However, one could never be expected to keep up such a pace, especially on a game as punishing as this. A mistake on Snowman's Land cost 7 seconds. After collecting 70 stars, he was only 3 seconds ahead. This put him on pace for a 46.59, but then this happened.
12.
A critical bonk on the stairs left a run of 46 minutes in doubt, and after another slight misstep entering the final Bowser stage, he needed a perfect finish. On the 12th of June 2020, D-Whatever achieved the first 46-minute 70-star run, an exceptional accomplishment and one that may not be matched for a very long time. It is always emotional when a runner that has spent years going after a world record finally achieves their dream, but I think this next moment takes the cake for me. It happened after the speedrunner simply beat the 120-star world record with a time of 1 hour, 38 minutes, and 28 seconds, which, if you know anything about this category, is a ridiculous time. Earlier in the year, I covered what I consider to be the most clutch speedrun in history, which is Cheese's run of the 120-star category back in February during a live event. With this run, he set a new world record of 1 hour, 38 minutes, and 54 seconds. That time was already considered extremely strong, and it's pretty surprising how much the 120-star landscape has changed since then. Back when Cheese performed this iconic run, it seemed as though he was in a league of his own, completely untouchable. But since then, new players have risen quickly to become legitimate world record contenders. In fact, the 120-star record has been broken twice since February, by 2 different players. The first time was back on the 31st of March. The runner Liam achieved a 138.43. Liam is an extremely talented gamer and is one of the best, but this record was pretty shocking when it happened. His personal best was 27 seconds behind the world record. He beat his existing PB by 37 seconds. That is a monstrous leap. Unfortunately for Liam, this record wouldn't last long. 2 months later, Simply would demolish it. Again, this was another giant leap, beating his existing personal best by 29 seconds. And considering how good his best already was, this is insane. For many years, Simply has been a world-class player. He was always in the top 10, but never quite broke through to the level needed to be a contender for the world record. However, in the past year, he has taken his gameplay to the next level, and then some. This amazing new run wasn't all sweet sailing though. It started off well. 50 minutes into the run, he was 10 seconds ahead of his personal best. But then a costly mistake in Dire Docks left him 13 seconds behind. He managed to claw the run back though, and 20 minutes later, he was back in front. But then, lightning struck. He performed his best snowman's land ever, taking the run from a small lead of 2 seconds to being half a minute ahead. From here, he just needed to hold on, and hold on he did, keeping that lead strong for the rest of the run. What happened after was a truly beautiful moment. I seriously tear up every time I watch this reaction. It's really rare to see so much support for speedrunning from parents. I don't think you can choose what you're passionate about, and oftentimes speedrunners are only met with disdain from the people around them for what they do. Perhaps things are changing now that we can make a really good living speedrunning on Twitch and YouTube. It's no longer possible to just call it a useless hobby. 20 years ago when I was speedrunning in my early teens, the notion that one day this would be a career was preposterous. In my household, video gaming was often met with heavy resistance from my family, to the point where I was banned from using a computer or playing games at all on certain days of the week. It's not a good experience at all to find something you deeply love and have no support from anyone around you. I really commend Simply's parents for showing so much love and enthusiasm for what their son is working towards, and it is a great example to set. Both DWhatever and Simply stream regularly on Twitch, and I highly recommend giving their channels a follow. I will provide both of the links in the description. Thank you so much for watching, you legends. I hope you are having a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next video. Hello, you absolute legends. When it comes to competitive high scores on retro arcade games, none have received more publicity and attention than Donkey Kong. The game is just shy of 40 years old, and still to this day nurtures a community of dedicated players working hard to eke out as many points as they can. Now, I'm going to be completely honest. I never understood the appeal. I was born in 1986, and by the time I was old enough to be able to stand at an arcade machine and try one for myself, I was presented with an array of amazing options like Final Fight, Street Fighter 2, and Turtles in Time. To me, a game like Donkey Kong was merely an archaic remnant from a time long ago, where games were primitive and players were entertained more by the novelty than the mechanics of the games themselves. Truth be told, I still somewhat hold this opinion today. With the depth of options that are currently available at our fingertips, I would assume that anyone who plays games from the late 70s or early 80s is driven mostly by nostalgia. I myself regularly go back to games I played as a child, not because they are the best, but simply because they are familiar, and remind me of a more innocent and magical time where I was free from responsibility to enjoy the moment.
Oh shit. Fucking end fight, dude.
King of Kong documentary, I didn't even know people still play these ancient relics. On its surface, Donkey Kong seems too simple,
What the hell?
too slow, too clunky compared with modern games
Oh,
to
God.
realistically hold someone's attention for long. And yet, players were devoting large
15
chunks of
there.
their free time
Point
trying to
five.
get the highest score they could. I didn't understand.